Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of the Compliance Playbook. When we talk about compliance and GRC, there are a lot of tools available in the market, but still the companies or CIOs still do not want to spend anything on the tools. And the reason is because they are not clear what is the output, what is the ROI that they will get out of the tool. To discuss this very important topic when GRC is becoming complicated day by day because of the upcoming vulnerabilities, upcoming threats, how the tools can be used. So today we have got Shubhangi with us, who has spent almost 10 years in the industry working around the tools, working around governance, working around GRC compliance. So we'll speak with Shubhangi to understand what kind of tools are available, what kind of tools can be used, and if you are building a tool, how you can build it in the right direction so that it can give you a clear ROI to your customer. So let's get started. Hi Shubhangi, welcome to the
Hello.
podcast.
Hi. Thank you so much, Manoj, for introducing me. And it's so amazing to have you and to have this wonderful conversation. I'll just introduce myself a little bit.
Yes,
I
please.
have been into governance system compliance for last 10 years and so, and it has been a wonderful journey. I started my career from a consulting background where I joined a couple of companies like EY, Deloitte, Grant Thornton. And then I realized that being in a consulting organization, you actually have a very structured thinking. You tend to think in a very limited space. And then I took a leap of faith. I joined other organizations, which were product based organizations. From there, I realized that the need of a GRC tool, which can give you comprehensive and actionable insights, is just such a bigger pain point. And it's such a on a blind side where everybody is able to see it but not do anything about it. So I took my another leap of faith. I joined an AI startup which was building a GRC tool from the scratch. And from there, I realized that how we are just not using AI into the GRC atmosphere where it could
Yeah.
be a game changing enabler.
Yeah. No, I think Shubhangi, very happy to have you on the podcast to talk about this very critical topic when we talk about the tools because I have myself being in the industry for the 17 years and I still speak to a lot of founders, and for them they are not very convinced with the use of tools in the field of GRC or in the field of risk and compliance. So Shubhangi, uh, let me start with a very simple agenda that what kind of tools you have seen in your journey. I don't want to list all those tools, but what is on the top of your mind you have come across and you felt like that tool did not do what it promised. I don't want to take you the name, just
Yeah.
what was it?
Yeah, so I think in this whole entire journey, I felt I have used multiple tools. A lot of GRC tools are basically the glorified version of data repositories, where they are fancying out and making it glorification of, hey, we will do the evidence repository, we will do the asset inventory listing, we will do risk registers. But there is no data correlation. There is no
Hmm.
actionable insights which are presented on your dashboards. Commonality of trends. A lot of times, a tool is basically, I would say, a dabba version of your beautiful Excel sheets, of your G sheets you're using. You're just inputting the
Yeah.
information from one form of MIS to another form of a GRC tool. But is that GRC tool giving you some useful insights like your SIM tool, your CSPM tool?
Hmm.
Is it giving you the commonality of trends where you can understand that what are my repeated risks, what are my repeated observations coming across multiple audits, where is my first line of defense lacking, where is my engineering and product
Hmm.
teams are not able to fix that gap of security, which I as a second line of defense able to see it. And that
Yeah.
is such a bigger pain point. I tell you, I have seen none of the tool which will solve this problem, yet they're upselling this to multiple CISO that we are able to solve it.
I think as a founder of the product or as a founder of the tool, don't you think that the founder would not know that what they are doing? Why do you think why there is such a huge gap that because there are a lot of other tools in the other arenas, be it in marketing, be it in sales, where tools have evolved a lot. They have come a far way from just being the repository, and then now they are giving the actionable insights. What do you think, Shubhangi? Like, why these founders, why these tools are not getting evolved? Like, what is your thought on that?
I think it's too much of glorification of automation in the hindsight of AI.
Hmm.
Simple, bold, blind truth. A lot of the automation which GRC tools are currently selling is basically not an AI, but simple automation or simple, integration. I've seen many tools into the market which are having very extensive integration, but at the same time, the controls or the risks which they are evaluating or assessing is so limited that their integrations fails to do the holistic control testing of the applications onboarded. Hence, the purpose of having the automated compliance assessment, automated control assessment stands defeated because again you are not doing the extensive amount of testing of your domains of control testing. Just for an
Yeah.
example, if I would onboard Slack, if I would onboard Datadog, if I would onboard Kibana, I would actually mean that for an user access management or an access control domain, I would go
Hmm.
end to end thorough testing. And that would not just be limited towards 2 to 4 touch points of control testing. I would want the user access review. I want the super admin reviews. I want the inactive accounts which are on the PAM. There are any, sleeping account or dormant account. Then I wanted to know that. I wanted to understand the JML pattern of joining, mover, and lever. So,
Yeah.
in a short way of nutshell, not just the same 4 5 pointers which are coming repetitively across frameworks is something which we need to test, but we need to test beyond the checklist of compliancing or achieving a certification.
Got it, got it. So it's like because still the founders are looking at these tools of achieving some certification, of achieving some milestone. They are not looking at it at a holistic point of view that what beyond the certification, what beyond that milestone once, for example, if I'm applying for, let's say, SOC 2, I'm just taking a random example. The tool will just stop there. And once I got the SOC 2, what after that? Because eventually, if I am running a small startup, if I'm a founder of a small startup, I really want to go beyond that. I just
Yeah.
can't stop at SOC 2 because it will become very, very complicated, forget expensive to manage and maintain one separate tool specifically for the SOC 2. And
Yeah.
then everything else is still being done manually. So, Shubhangi, I think there's one point that comes to my mind when I'm talking about this. Do you think, again, I'm not trying to glorify any founder here, because anyway there's a lot of debate on the internet between the Silicon Valley and Indian founders. Do you think the tools that are coming out of US market, or the companies building out of India, do you think those products are better than being compared to the tools that are built in India? Or have you felt that the story is same on both the sides?
Okay, I'll be the devil advocate over here. So I'll say the tools which are growing or increasing into the Silicon Valley is at the next level rate. And the way it is solving specific touch points and pain points into the GRC world is way ahead to what I am seeing into our tech industry, specifically India market or into even APEC region as a whole. There is a limited understanding and there is a very huge amount of burden onto the CISO when I see they see GRC tool as another security tool which is creating an additional burden of cost. And they
Hmm.
won't want it to have that additional cost when within the same cost they can buy another KSPM tool, CSPM tool, SIM tool. They wanted to get the endpoint holistic protection. Because for them, in their eyes, GRC tool is just an evidence repository tool for the sake of achieving the
Hmm.
compliance and certification. They also know
Yeah.
the truth that even after achieving the PCI DSS certification, there would be some blindfold points where the security is not compliant. Because
Yeah.
again, at the end of the day, when we are doing any assessment, be it SOC, be it ISO, be it PCI DSS, we have a very limited scope on which we are testing. We are on a very strict timeline. So there is
Hmm.
a huge amount of reasonable assurance. When I say reasonable assurance, it means that all the applications which is integrated into your ecosystem will not be in scope into your testing. When you have a limited scope where you are doing a limited testing with the limited samples, the chances are those samples will outperform. And they
Hmm.
will provide you a window dressing kind of picture that, hey, everything is fancy, we are all compliant, we are also secure. And hence, because of those costing elements, CISO tends to say that, hey, can you do internal automation to the GRC team? Can you just figure out, find ways where we do not have an additional tool, but at the same time figure it out from inside. But here is a bigger challenge. GRC people are no code people. They are more of a documentation specific people. And that's not wrong. I'm also one of those. But at the same time, this becomes a automation tool, a Schrodinger's cat. Because you don't know automation, now you have to rely on another automation team to do the in-house automation part, or you have to, either go for the shopping of GRC tools outside the market, understand what automation they are selling. Is that automation going to be useful for you?
So, Shubhagi, I understand that audit fatigue part, but I think just the one fundamental question that we're trying to answer here is before we go to the problem side of that why audit team or why GRC team are not able to achieve what they want. But the fundamental question that we're trying to answer right here is that are the US tools better than the Indian market or the tools in the Indian market? If yes, then why? And if no, then why?
Yeah. So over here, I would say GRC tools which are created inside the US market are more capable because they are giving the really actionable insights. When I say
Got
actionable
it.
insights, they give you the commonality in terms of repetitive observation and observations which are not closed in last 1 year, observations which are very critical for your crown jewels, but is getting delayed because of certain internal conflicts. I'll not name
Yeah.
them. I had that experience where I found out the willful defaulters of a set of engineers, set of product team, set of business team not implementing the GRC work because they wanted to kind of abdicate that work to a lower priority and try to, go towards a work which can, make the HOE more happy.
Got it.
In a short nutshell, I felt that the AI is bringing the more transformation in terms of these, US based cybersecurity tools. Because again, they are actually automating the task to a level where you just have to input few information to the AI. That agentic AI will require some of the evidences, and that is it. It will do rest of the work. End-to-end control testing, be it this test of design, test of operational effectiveness, it will pick up these samples, it will test it extensively, provide you the control exceptions noted, provide you what are the observations which were outlined, along with that the gaps in recommendation which needs to be fixed with the respect of timelines as well, that hey, for this recommendation or for this remediation treatment plan there will be SLA of 3 months, and now there is a huge amount of time left with the line to analyst to do extensive implementation
Got it.
where they can fix serious simple problems, where they can
Yeah.
actually spend extensive time on doing the RTPs, sitting with their engineers, sitting with their product teams, and do the
Yeah.
work. A lot of
Got it.
times, this audit fatigue will actually save or give a very less room for the engineers, specifically GRC engineers, to do the real implementation part.
Do some innovation. Yeah.
Yeah, to do some innovation, to do the implementation, and to sit with the engineers, because understanding engineers pain point is also very crucial. Why are they saying no towards implementing this tool when it can solve the problem of data loss protection at the external endpoints? Why is it the problem? Is it because of the workload, or is it because of the costing, or is it because the infrastructure or the tech stack is not designed in a way to deploy another tool? Then to understand this fact is where I would say a lot of AI tools, specifically which are deploying agentic AIs across different GRC workflows, are able to solve like 100 plus hours of human into less than 2 hours, sometimes even less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
Imagine
Yes.
the amount of less workload you will have in terms of doing manual testing, doing documentation, and your mind is
Yeah.
free in terms of doing the actionable work.
Got it. Shubhagi, okay, tell me one more thing. That why do you think that US tools are better than Indian tools? Like, or might be if you want to put it other way, how can Indian founders have the similar mindset as the mindset of the US founders and build the better tools so that this particular notion can be changed that Indian GRC tools are also in this are on the line of getting better as per the US. Like, why do you feel that? Do they have better insights than us? Do they have the better experience, or have they seen more in terms of cybersecurity compared to us? If you can share something on that.
To be brutally honest, I will equally treat the US market and India market. Both of the CISOs or the GRC heads are equally understanding about their tech stack. They have a pure view of the knowledge of what is happening across their environment. But the challenge is more of the costing and the process issue. To make people
Hmm.
convinced that GRC tool is not going to be the additional cost, it's going to be an enabler. And at the same
Yeah.
time, I would also blame the way GRC work in real time. I've seen GRC working in a very close and a secretive fashion. Like, you have to work and you have to work extensively with every vertical. You have to understand their business processes, their data flow diagram, their architecture, their microservices, their tech stack, the tools they are using, and then understand and deploy the secretive way the security has to be. So you need to know what everyone is doing, but at the same time be very closely sensitive and secretive about how you do the testing. When I say, AppSec team knows what is the BAU in terms of their script codings, what is the name of use cases they will face in pen testing, mobile, web app applications, and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
So as a cloud security, know what they need to fix. But at the same time, if you see all the GRC work, there is so much limited. If you see Big Fours, they are working in such a secretive way. Their testing strategy is very different from another organization, and they are closely guarded upon because of two reasons. One, we are testing business controls, so we cannot let the process out of how the
Yeah.
business functions. And we have to operate the extensive understanding of security into those business processes. So
Hmm.
a GRC person should know about all of the things into business processes, remain secretive at the time, but at the third point, it cannot out and out show the testing strategy of what samples it tested, how did it come upon to a solution, what risk was there into the environment earlier, and what, data privacy complications they are facing earlier but not facing today. So that closeness makes a lot of insights go away. When we read a lot of articles, when we read a lot of frameworks, we read a lot of these all of the information which is available on internet, that talks about on a very surface level about a control, that talks about a guideline that needs to be implemented or a framework needs to be implemented, and that is very open to perception in a way that it becomes vague for most of the 80% of the cybersecurity audience. 20%, which is us, the GRC people, able to understand that yes, this framework is referencing this, but they
Yeah.
cannot go deep down because it is applicable to different industries.
Yeah.
Encryption will be very different for a tech-based organization, which they will take seriously. But that will be very different where when it will be talked about in a physical security, HVAC will be more important for them. Being in a closed-ended fashion is where the insights remain very hidden. But I think the tech circles are evolving a lot. I've seen massive
Hmm.
amount of, back and forth communications in US market also and India market, and then interacting about the pain points or the challenges that they are facing. The
Hmm.
apprehensiveness is more towards how do we make sure that every tool which is into the market is able to mimic our internal GRC workflows. This is
But
such a
that's
bigger.
very difficult. That's very difficult because every company or every product company or be it a service company, every organization have their own ways of dealing with this workflows, dealing with these compliance issues. Making a tool that is agnostic, takes care of everything is, I won't say impossible, but from the outside world it is very difficult.
Yeah, that's true. I think in the world of subscription based market, we wanted an a la carte choice for everything. And GRC tools can do so much. I mean, they are meant to serve different type of clients across different types of industries. So they cannot
Yeah.
customize their entire workflows. They can, but to a very limited capacity. So our rigidness of changing our GRC workflows in the world of Dratas or in the world of any fancy we are very limited. We say that, hey, this is the way we always used to do. So the process and the working style of our GRC work, be it TPRM, be it policy attestation, be it internal risk and control assessment, shall remain the same. We want the new tool onboarded should actually change. But the problem here is that if a tool is catering towards larger, mature organizations, majorly Fortune 500, the tool tends to get very rigid in terms of approvals, in terms of workflows. And if a tool is actually serving very small clients, like, startup babies or someone which is less than 5 years into the market, then the tools are very limited in terms of their features.
Yeah.
The risk assessment is not comprehensive. They are
Yeah.
not in line with ERM matrix. They are not providing you the holistic picture. They would not do the asset based risk assessment. So the challenges are more towards how you can blend according to what the GRC tool is selling. But at
Yeah.
the same time, not let the AI remain in the dark room for working around. Because I have felt this thing for the last 1 year or so. AI is being very bigger game changer in terms of doing the GRC work. Think
Yeah.
of like just 2 years back, I was doing and completing a policy of data backup policy for my one of the business vertical in my previous organization. I'm very much scared about what policy clauses I would make because they were very much limited to an APEC region and especially for a Southeast Asia region. And I was like, okay, how do I make sure this policy goes around? And nowadays you have internal AI chatbots within your GRC tool. You plug in the information, give them a specific prompt, they will provide you that according to those regional specific standards, here is the policy, and they give you
Yeah.
another alternate suggestion as well. That
Yeah.
frees up your mind towards the documentation and let you, you know, think into the different direction. Okay, maybe I can plug in more information into these policy clauses and I can refine over here. So
Yeah.
60% of your heavy lifting is what AI still can do, and rest
Still can
40%
do.
is where you become human in the loop and you do the
Yes.
actual work.
Yeah. So Shubhangi, while you're talking about the AI, and I think one example that you gave around the policy thing, what do you think, like, what are the most common problems that you see as a low-hanging fruit that AI can solve or has already solved, and you're liking the way AI is solving those problems?
Yeah, I think majorly for tech-based organizations where they have so many SaaS vendors onboarded into their infrastructure, for
Yeah.
them filling up the vendor questionnaires, filling up the RFP, RFQs, is a
Hmm.
bigger challenge. And when I say
Yeah.
this looks very simple to solve, this problem is very huge. Think the amount of 500 plus vendors onboarded into your infrastructure. You have to remember their reassessment, you have to maintain their extensive criticality, you have to maintain your due diligence as well, and make sure that at the reassessment cycle we found new of the verticals which vendor is trying to hide. Over here, TPRM is very manual intrinsic work where AI is
Yeah.
actually shifting the burden of documentation, doing the extensive, email workflows, sending out the reminders to the client to sell up, finish up the questionnaire, is where AI is solving out the bigger problem. And I see like 70 to 80% of AI doing the bigger chunks and, giving out the realistic information towards the clients.
Got it. I think Shubhangi, is about the TPRM because this was one of my critical job roles at Barclays. So I really understand that answering these InfoSec questionnaires manually feasible, 100% feasible because have been there, done that, but doesn't add any value doing it manually because eventually answers are not coming off your mind. Answers are written in some policies, in some controls, in some procedures, and it has to be answered in a similar way the way it is written in the policy. You cannot, you cannot scribble anything which is not available in any of the documentation. And I think that's the reason that we built Narad. That if you have InfoSec questionnaire and if you are juggling around this vendor questionnaire, because when you start your company and you want to become a vendor for a big enterprise, you really want to focus on your business. You should not be focusing on filling up the responses because that will take away a lot of your bandwidth. And forget bandwidth, your all the mental bandwidth is gone, and you are not able to do the actual work for which you really started. So yes, I think I 100% agree. Like there's a lot that can be done from the AI. I think we are just getting started at Narad with one of these use cases. I think probably looking for a lot of other use cases in the that can be solved with AI. So Shubhangi, I think one more thing that I would like to know from you, that why might be what Indian founders could do so that they can get away from this nuance of that they're not building the tool just as a data repository. What do you suggest to the new founders, those who are beginning in the GRC industry? that what kind of tools they can build, what kind of study they can do even before they jump on building the tools, be it with the AI, be it without the AI, so that they can compete with the companies in US. If anything you want to suggest to the new founders.
Yeah, I think understand that you cannot have the whole cake and eat it too. So, not everything in GRC is something which is your pain point, and not everything is what AI can solve at a single stance. Pick up the problem, understand the scope, and that problem can be very, very simple and specific. For example, I
Hmm.
wanted to automate my policy attestation work where policy
Yeah.
procedures and standards can be documented and be written, can be reviewed and approved at a single stance using my AI. This could be the one problem area. Pick up a specific problem, understand and see how you can use and experiment with the AI in a way where you are not disclosing the sensitivity of the information, because of course at GRC we have to closely guardrail that, but at the same time you're solving a simple problem rather than solving too many problems which are at the GRC forefront. I have seen a lot of San Francisco tools which are solving very, very simple tech procurement problem, very simple specific problems. For example, in TPRM, they are just
Hmm.
relying towards how to solve the autofillness of RFPs and RFQs into the TPRM process as a whole, which is a very
Yeah.
small segment into the due diligence part, into the vendor questionnaire. So they're solving a
Yeah.
very key specific problem. Specificness of the problem and solving it at the same time with your, complete apprehension will make it much more easier. If you have internal training data set which can train your AI extensively, then well and good. Otherwise, you can deploy some SLMs as well. Of course, the market is also flooded with multiple SLMs where they are actually having complete trained data sets which can train your specific problems. In a way,
Yeah.
a lot of hallucination of your AI will get removed, and you will also get a comfort and reliance on your AI that yes, it is giving the accuracy of the answers which you were expecting, because
Got
there
it.
are too many parameters within a single control to test, and that is where you're getting the dependency on the AI to test all of these parameters. How would they
Yeah.
see the things the way a human auditor or a GRC person sees the things into the GRC world? Is where you have to train your AI. So your specific data sets can help them, your specificness of solving the problem will help them, and
Yeah.
making sure that you are not afraid of challenging the AI in a way. Use the tool
Yeah. Yeah.
extensively. There are tools, don't worry about whether it will leak out the information. If you are having a protected way of creating your own tools, you will be able to do and solve the problems internally. And mind it, 90% of the problems could be solved internally. It's just that
Yeah.
a lot of GRC tool vendors sells over complexities and we
Yeah.
tend to buy it. Why? Because we don't have the time to solve that complexities.
Yeah, I agree. So I think Shubhangi, that was a quite a nice advice. Like in the beginning or in the early days, try to focus one problem at a time. Try to go very very niche. It could be into any of the domain. Try to go as niche as possible and solve that problem, and then move it to the next one. And eventually, if you're solving one problem to the core, you might not even need to go to the next one. So I think Shubhangi, we
Absolutely.
had a very, very good conversation around the tools, around the AI, around the GRC. Thank you so much for your time spending a holiday morning with us. Looking forward for many more, Shubhangi. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Manoj. It was absolutely a great pleasure to interact with you.